Claude Opus 4.5 is the smartest AI coding tool that I've used, but the best part is you don't even need to be a developer to get the best outputs possible from Claude Code. In this complete beginner's guide, we're going to walk through everything around what Claude Code is, how to get it set up, and go through and build a social media drafting post app together from scratch. I'll show you the 4 different ways that we can use Claude Code, my recommended one for you to try, and some tips and tricks along the way to help you get the best outputs from day one. Most people think that you need years of coding experience to be able to build apps, and that was true before AI, but now we can get our very own AI coding assistant and build apps the same day with AI. All of the setup commands and everything I run through in this video are also going to be in the community, which is going to be the first link in the description, and we're going to deep dive much more into Claude Code, both on YouTube and in here to get the most out of it. So definitely check it out. It's the first link in the description. So first, why is Claude Code so good? Well, it's super simple to pick up and get started with. It's built for both total beginners and people with more experience to bring their vibe coding ideas to life. It uses, in my opinion, the smartest AI coding model at the moment, which is Opus 4.5, but Gemini 3 is in close pursuit. And then last but not least, I love the planning mode and proactive feature suggestion that you also get with Claude Code. So how can we use it? Well, there's 4 different ways of us being able to access Claude Code. We're going to be able to use it over the internet with the browser extension. We can use it on our desktop app. And if you come across to access your desktop version, just come up to the top, press the code icon here, and now you've got access to Claude Code straight away. If we come back across, we're also going to be able to use more of that IDE setting, which is where you may have seen it on YouTube videos for Cursor or VS Code to get the outputs in here. And then last but not least, you can also go through and use it natively in the terminal on its own on your computer. To get started with Claude Code, you're going to need to be on at least the Pro plan, which is going to cost around $17 a month. But if you're going to be building out lots of different apps, I'd recommend coming up to the Max or the Max 20 plan, just because you'll run into that limit quite often, especially if you're using Opus 4.5. And don't think of it as a subscription like your Netflix or anything like that. Think of this as a real investment, because of course you can create apps that you can then monetize and put on the web as well. So first things first, we're going to come across to Claude Code. Definitely make sure to use the chapters in this video to jump around to the different parts that you need. So how are we going to set up Claude Code? Well, as mentioned, we're going to need to install it locally on our computer first. We're going to show you how to use it with VS Code today, but regardless of that, I recommend installing it locally to get the best outputs. To do that, you'll see we've got this command in the middle here, or you can do the drop down. For example, if you want to use it on the web, it will open it up in the web interface for you to use nice and easily. You just need to connect your GitHub account. We're going to come through and copy this command though. And as we can see here, we need to go through and add it into our terminal. So we're going to come across to our desktop and our terminal. We're going to paste that command in there, and this is going to go through and automatically install Claude Code for us locally on our machine. So we'll just wait for this to run through, and then I'll show you how we can use it in VS Code. Great, once we got Claude Code downloaded, now to get the most out of it, we want to download tools like Visual Code Studio or Cursor, which will enable us to interface with that terminal nice and easily, but also see all the different files and everything else that we're generating. I really like Visual Code because of the way it's set out, but also it's completely free and open source to use. So definitely get this downloaded and let's jump in. When you open up VS Code, this is what it should look like. So first we're going to need to go through and create a folder for us to store all of the different documents, files, everything that we're generating to make our app run. We're going to do Command and O to open up our folder. We're just going to come through and save it on our desktop for now. So we'll do social and then media and then app, and we'll do open. This is going to enable us to store all of this different information on our local desktop before we go through and deploy it to platforms like GitHub for us to be able to access it on the internet. Once we've got this ready to go, we're now going to come up to the top, find terminal or the shortcut that goes with it, And then on the right hand side here, you should see that you've got the terminal opening up. To trigger Claude, we're just going to type in Claude, and now it should start Claude Code for us to use. We're going to say, yes, we trust this, and it's going to sort it out for us straight away. If you've not done this before, you'll need to go through and just connect your account. If it doesn't prompt you to do that straight away, make sure to do / and then log in, and there you'll be able to sign in with your specific account. Once you've done that, some of the other key commands to be aware of is we've also got the choice of model, which enables us to switch between Opus, Sonnet, and Haiku. If we do enter for Opus, we can also do agents, for example, to actually create different sub-agents that we want to complete specific tasks for our app. We can also do clear, which is going to help us remove previous conversations, help open up some of our context, and just keep the outputs coming through nice and easily. Another one is security. This is going to help us just try and detect any vulnerabilities before we go through and deploy this app onto the internet. Another one is rewind, which is going to help us restore previous code or parts of the conversation, just in case you start going down the wrong track. Another important one is stats. This is going to show you how much of your allowance you've got left, so that you can test if that plan or the Pro Max really is the actual option that you need. Next, we've got one called plugins, and this is really important. The reason for this is because we can then go through and actually identify all of the different extra elements that can help us get the most out of Claude Code. As we can see here, we've got Notion, Playwright, Google, we've got GitHub in here, we've got loads and loads of different ones, Supabase, Vercel, Slack, to help us get the most out of the apps. One I really recommend installing is front-end design. This is going to really help you improve the quality of the outputs and the designs that you generate versus the usual AI rubbish that we tend to get back. So definitely include that and your outputs will improve massively. We're going to come through and just do exit so that we can come back up to here and get started. What we're going to be building today is a social media app, and what I'm going to do is just paste our command in here. We're going to do enter, and then as you can see here, we've actually got that detailed instruction ready to go. And if I just interrupt it, we'll be able to see the command here before we execute it. We've got build a social media content drafting agent organization app. We've got really clear instructions on who we're targeting. We've got the core requirements in here, and we've got the constraints, the technical stack, and something really important as well is including words like think step by step, because it will really improve the outputs that you get with Claude Code. When you're going through, treat it like an assistant and also be quite strong in how you want it to be designed. So for example, instead of saying this is wrong, explain why it's wrong and what you're trying to achieve. What I'm also going to show you is the reason I stopped this is because if you do Shift and Tab, as you can see here at the bottom, we're now able to cycle through the different modes. I recommend for your first prompt as you go through, use the plan mode turned on because it will help your project think through, really identify how you're going to achieve it and improve the output. So now to show you that we can start from scratch as well, we're just going to do bin. So we'll just open up that new terminal again for us. We're now going to do Claude again, and this will start it up for us. To show you that we can use it even with a simple instruction, we're going to do Shift and Tab, come across to plan mode now, which is definitely better to start off with, and we're going to send that request off. We're just saying that we want a simple social media drafting and organizing app, going to be using Next.js, local storage, and more importantly, we've kept that part about thinking step by step. We're going to say yes, it's allowed to continue. Now it's going to go through and start installing some of the dependencies we need. One of the features I love about Claude Code is we've now got these questions that it's going to ask us. So for example, we're going to use the up and down arrows to navigate through these on our keyboard. We're going to say we want it for all major platforms. We're going to do enter. Now it's asking us about features. We're going to say that we want it to be draft organization, calendar view. We can select multiple ones of these if we want to. We can do team collaboration, all of these different things. And now we can come through and do next. Now it's going to enable us to have multiple workspaces. In this use case, we'll keep it simple and we'll just say that we want one single workspace. We're going to do enter. Now we can go through, submit those answers, and it's going to start going through and improving those outputs. And this is one of the features I absolutely love about Claude Code, is it can help be our best friend in when we're going through and trying to generate some ideas to really improve the outputs. So now it's going to go off and generate that first version for us. It looks like it's now going through. We're going to say, yes, we want it to use Next.js. We're going to do enter. Web search, we're going to say yes. We're just going to use yes, all of the basic ones for now, just to get that first version set up. What you can also do as well, if you're comfortable with it, is you can do Shift and Tab and then accept edits on. And this is where it will help us go through, automatically accept some of the suggestions from Claude to build it out a little bit quicker. What you'll find is we'll get all of the files on the left-hand side here, which will make it nice and easy to review all of the code. So if you're comfortable with it, turn this on and it will help speed through some of the edits. So there we go. It's now gone through and done everything for us. We've got this full entire plan that it's built out for us. If we come up to the top, we'll see the steps that it took. As we can see here, after we sent off the command, it went through and did some planning for just under 3 minutes. It then created that comprehensive plan file, which we'll be able to review in the plan section as well. So we'll just wait for this to go through. If we come down here, it's now got lots and lots of detail, the tech stack, the different character limits, the actual modules that we need to sit behind it, the file structure, everything like this is going to go through and do it for us. If we come down here, it's also got some of the color schemes as well, so we can keep an eye on this as we want. If we come down the bottom here, again, we can see if we want to auto accept edits, yes, manually approve edits, or we can go through and type what we want. If you're going through and literally just doing this for the first time, it's quite interesting to auto accept edits, but of course, please always review the code, use the security analysis checker, just to make sure that it's safe and not doing anything unexpected. So we're going to keep it as manually approving edits for now. We can see here it's now running for 4 minutes and it's just going to go through and take just over 4K tokens. So as you can see here, running through really quickly. We're going to say, yes, we want that to proceed. We'll do yes, don't accept. We'll just let it keep going through, trying to build everything out. As you can see on the left, starting to go through, add some files to our specific app. So now we'll just come down and say yes again. We'll just let it keep running through. So there we go. It's just gone through and built our first version for us. As we can see here, we've got all of the documentation and all we need to do is copy this link and we'll open it up on a web page. So as we can see here, we've just opened it up on Google Chrome and we can change between the different designs. We've got the calendar, we've got folders, we've got the dashboard and much, much more. So let's come through and do new post. Let's see where it takes us. This looks quite good. We'll change this and do Claude Code. We can create apps, create apps. We can choose Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, all of this sort of stuff. We can say Claude Code is amazing with Opus 4.5. It's got the character counter that's increasing as well. We just copy and paste this until hopefully we go over. Looks like, yep, it's automatically got that included as well, which is really good for now. We can say we've got an idea. We've got all of the different elements down here for it. Let's put in a date for, say, the December. We'll give it a time as well. So it looks like 7 o'clock. All of that is working. We've got no folders. It looks like we can't create a folder yet. So we'll need to go through and change that. Let's do save. We'll see if it's able to save the app idea. It looks like it's not saving at the moment. If we come across, oh yeah, we've got one there. So it has saved it into the dashboard. It doesn't look like we're able to create any folders yet. So what we'll just do is we can come through and just screenshot all of this, copy the image. We'll then come back across to VS Code. We'll get rid of that now. We'll just come down the bottom. We're able to do Control and V. That's going to enable us to attach an image, as we can see here. We can say this is great, but I want you to change the color scheme to black and gold instead of blue. I also need to be able to create folders to store all of the different options. And let's just go back across as well. We'll see if the calendar function is working. Yes, it is, which is great. We'll also say down here, please also add in a feature where AI can generate the post for us based on the ideas we share. We'll send this off, and now we'll be able to go through and start making those changes for us nice and easily. There we go. So it looks like it's gone through. It's actually compacted our conversation, which is some of the new features that Anthropic have released to reduce the amount of token windows that actually crash because of the amount that we've got in there. We've got all of these different elements. It says it's done. So what we'd be able to do is just come back across to our environment. It looks like it's automatically updated everything for us, which is great. Let's just come back through. We're going to make sure that we've got our API key added in. So it looks like it can't find it. So say we can't find env.local file. Please update the code for us. Check it exists. We'll just send this off. Make sure that it's definitely existing in the background. We'll close this down in the middle here as well. So yep, it looks like it didn't exist. So it's just gone through and done it for us. So we should be able to see it any second now as it goes through. And what we'll be able to do is add our API keys in here. I've already got one ready to go for Claude. So there we go. We've just come through and we'll open this up with a text edit. We're just going to add our Anthropic API key in there. We'll delete the OpenAI one. And then we're just going to do save, close that down. We'll come back and say, I've added the Anthropic API key and removed the OpenAI key. Now let me test. We'll be able to send this off. Now it will go through. It may ask us to just restart the instance, which is absolutely fine. And then we'll be able to go through and just check it is. So it looks like it's going to say, yep, we're just going to stop that app from running. So if we come across to our web page here, we will probably get it doesn't exist. It looks like it's just refreshed in the background. We're going to say yes, allow reading, again just letting it go through, get everything ready for us in the background. So there we go. It looks like it's all tested. So we'll go across. As we can see here, we've now got all of the different ones. We can create new folders. So we can say Claude Code. It looks like we can add different icons in there as well. We can add different tags as well if we want to. So it looks like we can do Claude and then code again. We've got different ones in here that we can use. Come back up to calendar. It looks like it's still got a one that we're able to post with. We can do AI generate. We can say how good Claude Code is and why it's useful for 2026. We can say we want it maybe to be a bit more inspirational. We can do generate content, and there we go. It's actively working in the background, so we know it's ready to go straight away. We can come through and say maybe V2. We'll do save, and let's just come back across. We'll see it looks like it's still keeping it as that one, but if we wanted to go through, say, do a new post, we could do AI generator, we could do excited for 2020 and then select F1 season. We're going to say that we want it to be casual, generate the content. We'll come through and just put this for, say, March of next year. We're going to say that we want it to go through at 9 o'clock. We'll do save. That looks like it's gone through in the background. We'll come to our calendar, come across to where we've got March, and yep, again, we've got it ready to go straight away. So why is this important? Well, what Claude Code now enables us to do, it enables us to generate really good apps with Claude Code, iterate through them incredibly quickly so that we can get to that end result or that first starter idea nice and easy. We're also able to easily push these ideas into GitHub. All you need to do is come across to GitHub. You'll need to do a new repository. You just need to give it a name, a description, and then it's going to generate an actual URL for you. And then all you need to do is paste it in here, for example, and say, we can say, please add this to the GitHub repo of, and then you would add the URL. You can also go through and connect the Claude to that specific repo. So you can do, and then GitHub. And as you can see here, you'd then be able to chat back and forth with Claude on that specific GitHub repository to make the improvements. So once you've done that, now we're able to go through, host it with platforms like Vercel, connecting front-end apps, back-end apps, and databases so that we can create that entire app over the space of the weekend. And again, don't forget that we've also got the other command of, for example, security. So this will go through, just identify if there's any errors, be able to pull them out for us, check if there's any issues that we need to address. Make sure to come across to our community if you're interested in learning more about AI and automation, and stay tuned for more about Claude Code and AI.